Hey Gemini, what's going on? This reading is going to be about the week ahead. When I say week ahead, I mean more so like from now and the next like 5 to 7 days. What's going to be going on? We're starting off first with Queen of Cups. Okay. Queen of Cups and 8 of Swords with Strength on the bottom of the deck. Queen of Cups shows you being in a position where there can be a lot that you're feeling, and there can also be a lot that you're thinking about too with 8 of Swords. You can feel almost like there's unsure of where to move. That can feel a bit uncomfortable. The word migrating is coming through. I feel like this has to do with something that's energetically taking place. Like the energy is migrating. Let's clarify what this 8 of Swords is about. Because we have like no context for it at all. I don't know where this is coming from. And I want to know. 8 of Swords will be a feeling of, can feel like you don't know how to move forward or how to get out of the position that you're in, or you could feel like there's maybe no right move to be making right now, or should you be making a move right now. It's one of those times where it can feel like you really can't turn off your brain. And so you're just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. But having you start out in Queen of Cups rather than starting off with Queen of Swords, I feel like this is also an emotional thing where you're emotionally impacted. So some things about like your intuition and your emotions are involved in this. And then also too, like where you are mentally with things, that's involved with this as well. So yeah, there can be like a lot that you're feeling, and then from a mental standpoint, you can feel like things aren't just like, you know, coming in a snap or like at a snap for you. You know, sometimes when it feels like stuff is going on and you just automatically know what to do and how to move through it, you're going through a time that feels like the opposite of that. Something is happening here, and maybe the part of you that's like more quick on your feet is feeling like less active right now, and you can actually feel more stuck than anything. What I'm seeing come your way is what looks like a door opening. I do just want to clarify 8 of Swords. Why would you be feeling like this? What's that about? Possibly leaving a situation, possibly leaving, possibly staying, Gemini. I don't know if this is just you or if it's about someone else. Why you can be feeling like this is there can be this feeling that you're having of, should I stay within this, or should I maybe, having Ace of Wands here can mean that there is an opportunity, you do have an out, even like you can go for that, you can go through that door. So there can be this, I don't know if I should do this or not, actually. And now it's making sense why I'm seeing Queen of Cups come out, because if this is the part of you that cares about what's going on and how you're feeling, yeah, I'm getting confirmation of this. So why are you coming out as Queen of Cups rather than Queen of Swords in this instance? If we have 8 of Swords here, it means that there's a decision that needs to be made, and you need to be emotionally in the place to make that choice because it matters to you, because it has to do with your satisfaction. It has to do with how you're feeling through this experience that you're having. And it does look like a choice is going to be made, like you have an opportunity, you have an option here. Having 8 of Cups, but then having 8 of Cups clarify 8 of Swords indicates something about not really knowing, feeling stuck is this the thing that I should be doing, and should I be staying here doing this thing, or should I leave? And then what's on the bottom of the deck with Eight of Cups, which is about like, should I stay here or should I leave? What should I do here? Is Nine of Swords. And so there can just be like this overall fear of change in general. Should I change? Should I not change? Should I go for this opportunity? Should I not go for this opportunity? You can be trying to figure out like what's the best thing for you to do here. Simultaneously, you can feel again like your brain won't turn off or your thoughts won't turn off, and so you're like, I can't think clearly right now. That's what this feels like to me. So it's a time when you're trying to figure things out, and you can feel as if you can't hear yourself think clearly. And so how in the world are you supposed to make a choice here or decide on anything or make some type of judgment call when you can feel like there's not a solid point that you can stick to when you're trying to think? And so that's why you can feel very like, I don't even know what to do here. You can feel stuck. I get that you see what's happening around you. Simultaneously, you may not know, you're not feeling confident about how to move through this. And it also feels like anxieties are part of this. Like there can be resistance, there can be fears, there can be doubts that are part of this as well. Ace of Wands is this kind of like, here if you want it, not obligated if you don't. I feel too like you're gonna have a bit of a breakthrough here, going through quite a tough time actually. Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords. I think you can be just coming to terms with what's happening all around. Ace of Wands does mean that a door is opening for you. Ace of Swords feels like not only can this be a moment where there are other options that you recognize as being available, but this also feels too like you're going to be seeing something very clearly, but it can be a moment that it's difficult to see that. Having Ace of Swords first and then the Ten of Swords following. Ace of Swords is a moment where you just see everything exactly as it is, but Ten of Swords, it can be difficult to see it as it is. And that can be where the resistance has been coming from in the first place. Because maybe even something's happening in a way that maybe you felt like you weren't ready to let go of something, or you weren't ready to accept something, or you weren't ready for it to be time yet. Because this even feels like a break in a case or something that's happening, and you can feel like you're sort of at the mercy of this thing that's going on here. For some of you too, I wonder if this feels like just like another thing on top of what's already been going on. Yeah, we do have the moon, so you can be exploring some very unknown territory, and you can also be getting a very close-up look at your psyche too with the moon here. The moon represents Pisces. I'm also seeing Aquarius on the bottom of the deck. I'm hearing the word storage. The moon and Five of Cups feels like there is a bit of an abyss that you're sort of going into and exploring within, and there can be some deep, heavy things that are within there that are becoming uncontained. This can also be about stuff that's been coming to light as well, stuff that awareness has been brought to. Why look at the moon in this way? Why look at the moon and feel the Five of Cups? I'm seeing something about a fear about taking action, or even feeling like one isn't ready. Why would this be the feeling looking at the moon? A notion of something being said, a notion of even emotions surfacing. This can be a painful discussion that's being had. I do even get the notion of there being like regrets or something of that nature. Like there can be something that sort of came out of the ocean and made its way towards you, and it can be something that you really want to push back in, but it's like here and you can't really deny it at that point, but you can wish that you like never looked in the direction of the ocean in the first place. And this can be also too stuff that's coming up from within you as well, that you could have been like, I was trying to avoid that and now I'm like, it's come up and it's found me and I can't really get away from it. This can be, not to be like dreary or anything, but we are just talking about what's being seen within the reading. This does seem like a moment that can be just feel like a difficult moment that's happening here. There's a lot of stuff that's going on emotionally. It can also be stuff that you don't necessarily prefer to even deal with, you know. Maybe you prefer to deal with the more intellectual side of things where it's just, you know, crunching the data and figuring stuff out. This feels more like there's a lot of stuff that's going on emotionally. It can bring you into a place with yourself that you didn't necessarily want to go within. I do also feel like this is bringing up more stuff that you can't really ignore, but it's here and it's being brought to light, and you can feel like as it's surfacing you almost don't know what to do with it, and it being challenging for that reason. Because I do feel almost like this is some stuff that's been maybe being avoided on purpose. And so having it come up in this way feels like, well, there's no way to really get away from it now. It sort of just has to be dealt with. And I, again, feel this like looking into the ocean and being like, I wonder what's down there. And it feels again like something has surfaced, and like before you had the chance to look away, like you saw something and now it's too late and it won't really go away. And it feels like something that maybe you didn't want to have to be dealing with right now, and now you just do have to be dealing with it. And there can be stuff about the past that's coming up too, that's been brought to the surface as well. And that can again be something that you could have been shoving it down because you didn't want to address it. This can be something that you like didn't want to have to deal with. That's what I get. Like when you have Queen of Cups here and you have the moon, this can be stuff that's been like deep within you that you sort of put it away for a reason, and put a lid on top of it for a reason, and then chained it and locked it up for a reason, and now it feels almost like it's like when you bury something in the water and like hope that it sinks, and then it actually comes up to surface. Because I'm seeing you over here, you know, like in the water playing around, and then I feel in this moment like the waves just crashed in a certain way and it brought something to shore, and you're just looking at it like, did that really just happen? Like I can't, that thing that I thought I buried out there, it's coming out. I thought that I wasn't gonna have to deal with that. It's such a vast ocean, and now that it's coming out, it feels like you have nothing to do than to, like, you can't really get away from it now. This is the feeling of I'm sort of cornered a bit and I don't really know what to do. And then having also Five of Cups can be like stuff about the past that's coming up, and it can be stuff that was done in a way that you may have not wanted to deal with this. You may have not wanted this to be coming up now, but it's here. I do feel like this was emotionally motivated stuff, or just like ways even that you were coping with things too, Gemini. I'm seeing strength on the bottom of the deck. It can be a time that you question if you're able to get through it. I'm not seeing that you can't. I'm also seeing too that there's a new path, you have a new lead to follow. So there's something shiny coming through, and it feels like your journey can continue. It doesn't just have to be about the focus on this thing and what's come up. There can be joy, there can be presence, there can be care when it comes to what you're doing. You actually wanting to be somewhere as well. And I'm seeing you your own stuff that you're working through. At first, the moon feels daunting, but then seeing Page of Wands, I feel like there's a part of you that becomes inspired by this happening. So you go from looking at something and feeling kind of unprepared even to deal with it, but then quickly, and I don't know what this is or like how this happens, but it feels like it comes through as a door that opens, and all of a sudden I'm seeing your attention go to that, and it's like you light up. So maybe without that door opening, it felt like something was really dreary before, but then I'm seeing the door open, and I'm seeing you like running towards it. And I think before this was a possibility, before this was on the table, you could have just felt like there was a redundancy with what you were dealing with, and it could have felt really cyclical. It's like what you're feeling stuck, really focusing a lot on the past, like going down deep within there, just things that have occurred, the emotional landscape, emotional, psychological stuff that you're feeling sadness, can be feeling mourning, feeling loss, regret, shame can be part of this, can be lots of different things that are involved in this. And it can even just be something that stuns you sometimes, where you feel like it's so vast and it's so much and there's such a depth that it's like unfathomable how to even think your way through it. And when you try to feel your way through it, all you can feel weighed down at times. Now, having Ace of Wands and having Page of Wands, this feels like your attention is over here, and all of a sudden you start seeing like a golden light, and you look in the direction where it's coming from, and it's a door that's open that maybe like you weren't aware that it was there in the first place. You weren't aware that it was open, let alone there in the first place, is what it feels like. And then I'm seeing you almost like pop up and like run in the direction of that. And then having Ace of Swords and having Nine of Cups, I feel like something really promising that you want is right there. And it feels like this is allowing you to close out something that's been like pretty painful to be dealing with, or pretty difficult to be dealing with, challenging to be dealing with. It's like this thing really redirects your attention, and it even feels hopeful in this moment. And having Ace of Swords and having Nine of Cups can feel like, finally, this is what I wanted. Finally. And so it feels like a spectacular moment. So we go from something feeling like, how do I even get out of here? I'm not seeing a way out, to then this door opening and you being so excited, like, I didn't want to be in this room, and you like finally get to run out of it because you don't need to be in there anymore. So this Ace of Wands that happens, this opportunity, this door that opens, I'm seeing you be super excited about it. Having Ace of Swords and having Nine of Cups, this will be one of those times where you feel like, finally, I got what I wanted. Finally, I get what I want. This looks like it has to do with a specific thing. I'm not seeing this be like, yes, now everything in life, I'm going to get what I want. This feels like one very prominent thing that felt super important. And this isn't just like, you go to the grocery store and they have like your favorite item there. This feels like something big with the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Swords. This is something you could have like fervently wanted, something you could have desperately wanted, something that this is much deeper than a surface level desire or want. This is like a deep wish that you had, something that you knew would be in alignment for you, or that you really hoped was, and really hoped that this thing would come to fruition. And here it is doing exactly that. And I think that through this happening, it's going to allow you to close something out that had been a painful cycle, that feels like this gives you permission now to close the door on that. Because if you're walking, if the door is opening and that golden light is pouring in, and I'm seeing you literally like turn around and feel a jubilant energy towards this door that's opening, where it just feels like over here everything was so dark and it was so blue. And when this door opens, the contrast of the light that comes through it, and just the immediate, like, first you're on your knees and you have your head in your hands, and the next moment there's like this popping up, like you have no weight on you at all, and you're just like running towards the door. It feels like as you move through the threshold of the door, you can finally close the door on that old chapter, because you're stepping into the next room, you're stepping into the next cycle. So it is going to allow you to close the door on something that I think had brought you a lot of pain. Because this could have been too, this is news that you're getting. This is news that you're going to be getting. Okay, so it can be news, it can be a notification, it can be like an email, a call that you get, it can be a conversation that you have, new information is being brought to you. This is something that on an emotional level, you go from, there was disappointment, there was like, why is this going on and why is this happening? And it really could have put you even into an emotional tailspin, to, at the end of this, I'm seeing something that still very much matters to you emotionally, but it feels like it's like something that is very, I'm seeing even an excitable energy. So you go from going into the deep depths of yourself, maybe even reliving something painful, to then being able to close the door on that. And yeah, this news that travels your way, this news that's coming in for you, I feel very much like this is going to change the game for you. Some of you, this is news that you're going to be getting in, but it has to do with something that's going to be happening later down the line, is what I'm seeing. But you'll know, this will be like confirmation, something being confirmed for you, like, hey, this is what's going to be happening. And I feel too like it really breaks you out of something. The word psychosis is coming through, but I don't think that it's like this. This feels, what it feels like to me is that if you'd been going through something and you were like heavily disappointed, or you almost like didn't know what to do with how you were feeling because it was just that difficult to bear, this thing comes through and it like bursts you out of that, and it really turns things around for you. So you go from almost not knowing what to do with what you've been handed to wanting to grab what you're being handed. And so that's the turnaround that I'm seeing here with this. It feels like it even like shakes you out of this, like, man, I can't believe this happened. Even like, whether it's on that level or a deeper level, whatever this is, where it's like maybe you felt like you couldn't get over something that had happened. This news that comes through, this information that comes through, this notification, phone call, email, whatever it is that comes through, it busts you out of that. And it feels too like it breaks you out of something that had happened, where you're not cast within that any longer. This could have been something that took some time to happen, and also too, for some of you, even though you're going to be getting the information soon, shortly about this, it can be something that's going to be happening a bit later down the line with Three of Wands here on the bottom of the deck. So it can be information you get now about something that will be happening later down the line, but you'll have this information will be confirmation that that thing will be occurring, that that thing will be taking place. I'm getting confirmation about that. So I do feel like this is going to allow you to close a door that you wanted to close, and you're going to open a door that you wanted to open, and you're going to close a door that you wanted to be closed. And so it feels very, to me, it feels like almost a full circle moment to me, the way that this happens, where like you're closing the door on something and you're opening the door on something else, and this really will be a turnaround for you. And this will be something that will be a joyful moment because this matters to you on an emotional level. And so it will be significant for that reason. But not only that, this door that's opening, it's not just a one thing. This is something where this is going to be like a path that you're going to be walking with Ace of Swords and Page of Wands. So this is something that will be available to you where there's going to be like growing and development that happens that's associated with this thing that you're going to be doing, this thing that you're going to be putting your energy into. And so, yes, it will matter to you on an emotional level. Yes, it will make just things in general easier to cope with. Also, too, this is something that you're going to be like putting your like life force energy into, and so this is something that you're going to care about deeply. This will be a moment, again, where it will feel like a dream is coming true, or like a deep like ask of the universe is like coming true for you. It will feel like a breakthrough with something that you wanted so badly and so deeply, and it will be unmistakable what this is. This will be something that matters to you very, very, very much. So you go from, I think, like feeling pretty disappointed about something happening to then feeling extremely happy. Because it's not just like an Ace of Wands and then you being like okay with something. Nine of Cups is like, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted so badly. And I think it really allows like some anxiety to come to an end, like something that I think had just been like eating away at you, where I feel again like something was going on and it felt like you were stuck within some type of cycle that this breaks you out of. What this can mean too is that part of what's involved in this is that there could have been something going on that was like unknown or undetermined. And so Eight of Swords can be your response to, I don't know what's going to be happening, and I'm feeling like all I can do is sit here and be stuck in my thoughts, and I don't know what's going to be happening. And so it will be that feeling of, you know, when you're like not being told something and you're like, what's going to be happening? What's going to be behind the moon? I want to know what's going on, but something has a big question mark on it. And so all you can do is be lost in your thoughts. That's going to be coming to an end because you're going to be knowing, it's like this thing is revealed. You're going to know what's happening. And I'm seeing you actually look very, you're going to know where you're going. You're going to know what you're doing. Page of Wands shows that there's a path that you're going to be on. You'll be happy to be there, and this will be made clear. And it looks very much like you are going to be notified of this. So it feels very much like there's intelligible like notice that this is happening. And so you go from what's going to be happening and feeling sort of all over the place and just like having all of these feelings about what's going on to then knowing what's going to be happening for sure. So this is definitely, things are going to be clarified, and it feels very much, having Nine of Cups here is like you wanted this to be clarified, and you will be happy with this too, because this will also feel Not only are you happy because things are clarified in general, this will feel like a breakthrough when it comes to the bigger things that you want. So it won't just be like, well, I'm glad I know what's happening, but like I'm not happy with what's happening, but at least I know. This is more so like I'm now aware of what's happening, of where things are going. There's not a question mark on that anymore. The mystery is over now. So like the suffering that's been happening while I've been waiting, it can now come to a close. And also too, like, this is news that you wanted. This is the breakthrough that you wanted. This is like what you were hoping to hear is what you hear. And again, for some of you, this is about you're getting confirmation now. And I don't just mean now within, I don't only mean now within the reading. I mean, somebody's going to come through and say, hey, this is confirmed for you. And for some of you, this is about something that's going to be happening in the future, but it will be confirmed, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody can come through and be telling you today, whatever today is, that like in 4 weeks from now, this thing is going to be taking place, and it's like a sure thing then. So it will be assured. So yeah. It feels like you're out of some sort of like hellscape that you've been in a bit. And I feel very like trapped in your mind about this, about what's going to happen, what's going to be taking place, in this like mystery of the unknown, and then you being like pulled out of it. I think too that some things had been going in ways that you didn't want them to, and you could have almost assumed that this situation would end up in the same way, but it doesn't. You'll be happy with this, for sure. It even felt in the beginning of the reading almost like something darker was going on here, but I don't see that energetically. I feel like that was just how you were feeling as things were sort of unfolding. But this really will allow something that's been like a pretty unpleasant thing that you've been going through, like allows it to come to an end. So that's not going to be much of a thing anymore. Also too, like if you had been going through something and you felt disappointed about it, and you were like really like hoping that this thing would sort of break that cycle, it will break that cycle. You're gonna be very like jumping for joy type of feeling, like not gonna be able to wipe the grin off of your face type of feeling with this, okay? All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.